Alright, you guys, so here's a first look at our Weremera. I can't get that name stuck out of my head. It's stuck in my head right now. So Werewolf Gamera, or Weremera, yeah. It's kind of like stuck in my mind like a song, only it's just one word, like Weremera. Alright, anyways, I'm going to lop the Gamera head off here, and I'll end up filling this entire section right here up with hot glue so that we can get a good connection point for the head. And since this is already at a joint, we'll just cap off the joint right there, and it should be able to pop back in, so we won't need to fill the entire thing with plastic, just this little section right here to get a nice firm connection for the new head. And then I'll also put a little bit of hot glue and go ahead and fill in the entire tail here and the feet, just for weight distribution reasons. But yeah, that's where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and get on it, and I'll show you that in just a bit. Alright, so here's where we're at. So I've lopped that head off, and what you can see what I've done right here is I've just plugged that hole with an old paint cap. And what that's going to do is just block off that opening so I can fill this hole inside with hot glue, which will give me a solid area to sculpt up and build a neck for our new wolf head. So this is basically just creating a converter plug to fit back into this vinyl figure. That's solid. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and fill this up and get back to you. Alright guys, so I wanted to show you this right here. I'm going to add more hot glue and junk plastic to fill that in a little bit more before I use an epoxy sculpt top layer on it. But as you can see, this Weremera, as we're calling him, is starting to take shape. I think it looks pretty neat. Anyways, like I said, we've maintained full original articulation of this Gamera body by filling this entire section with plastic, and so this whole section will be plastic, but the rest of this doesn't have anything in it. It's still just vinyl. So that was kind of our bridge there. So the epoxy sculpt has a nice solid surface to grip onto. What else? He is a little bit top heavy. He's only going to become more top heavy. So what we'll do is I'll add a little bit of additional plastic in the tail and some in the feet, and that'll take care of that weight distribution problem. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and keep working, and I'll give you an update in just a bit. Alright, and it's time to bust out the epoxy sculpt. So something I didn't show you, the legs and the tail area have been filled with hot glue and actually some rocks just to make it really heavy down there, so that he doesn't top over, because he's so heavy up top as well. But anyways, going to go ahead and just add that epoxy sculpt layer. I'm going to have the hair come down where it's, covering a little bit of the shell here. And I'm going to make it so that this area is still freely attached, so he can still swivel his head back and forth. But yep, I'm going to go ahead and sculpt that epoxy sculpt layer, and I'll give you an update in just a bit. Alright, so here he is with his epoxy sculpt, little hair layer. So, yep, that's where he is. He still has original articulation of the head from, the original Gamera body. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and prime this in black, and I will get back to you in just a moment. So here we are again. He's been primed in black, and I totally forgot to show a picture of that before I painted this part of the shell this dark green, and that green was just this green iridescent sap green mixed with a little bit of black. But anywho, we're gonna do this blue mixed with a little bit of black for the outer scoots right here, and then we're gonna do like a geometric pattern here with purple and black, and then I'm not sure what we're gonna do. Actually, I might end up using, I think that would be a good color right there. I don't know, we'll have to see. For starters, I'm going to go ahead and just start working on this side, and I'll give you some updates along the way. But, see you soon. So here's Weremera right now. I'm going to do a purple inlay on the green area, and then a black inlay over the purple. We'll end up doing a green-blue inlay over the blue here, and then a black over that. I'm going to paint the inside of the carapace as silver, with then a red inlay and then a black inlay. We've done a dry brushing of light blue, metallic light blue over the face right now. I think we're going to do some more purple and then red on these hanging hairs off of the neck. And then I've decided I'm going to do a dark purple for the fleshy areas on the legs and arm. Alright, check in with you in just a bit. Alright, you guys, so here is another look at our Weremera. We've added the second layer of different color hues on there. Now, over every purple spot and green spot, I'm going to go ahead and add a black layer on top. So just a little bit of the bright color is still showing. And that layer is the same under there. I'm going to paint the bottom carapace silver with a red circle and then a black circle over that. But I'm going to go ahead and paint the back with its black spots first. Alright guys, let me know what you think. What do you think of that turtle shell? I think he's coming along really good. Now I'm going to paint the first layer of silver on the inside of the carapace, and then red and then black again. So, yep, that's where he's coming. Not that much more. We'll do some highlights of other colors on the face too, but I'll talk to you more about that as we get a little bit farther along. Alright y'all, see you in a bit. And folks, we are done with Weremera. What do you guys think of this? This is the first Weremera I've seen. I did a Google search, and I don't think anyone else has built a werewolf Gamera before. And there's a lot of concept art for werewolf Godzillas, but I think this might be the first real Weremera, which is so cool. I ended up doing a little bit of gold and copper highlights over the blue on there, and I really like that. I think this is the first time I've ever married those two colors together, and I think I'm definitely going to add that to my my toolkit. I really love the little gold over blue that's going on this face. I think, you know, I really wanted to keep this thing a true creature of the night, you know, so I didn't want to do too many over-the-top colors like I normally do, and I think we added enough color on it to really be in my style while keeping it still, you know, something that goes bump in the night. But let me know what you think. Do you like them? Is it a win? Is it a loss? Let me know. Alright, Thanks for coming along for the process, y'all. Peace out.